Good afternoon for everybody once again. Thank you for joining us. My name is Stanislaus Martins. I'm the president of ADMAP, the Association of Digital Marketing Professionals here in Nigeria. I see, okay, more people joining. Fantastic, fantastic. So as you all know, ADMAP is an association dedicated to the professionalization of digital marketing as a practice here in Nigeria. And what we've done this time around is to put together a calendar, a very detailed and I'd say very impressive calendar of training events for June and July. The calendar has been shared in the community. This training is 100% for the members and it's free of charge for all members. This is part of the value add for being part of the ADMAP and the DMM community. Over the next 2 months, we have a very, very rich array of training coming up. Obviously, we have Nelson, who also doubles as the VP of Memberships and Growth for ADMAP. Today, he's going to be talking to us about understanding programmatic advertising. That's such an extensive topic that today we'll spend more time on the basics. Hopefully, we can get him again in the next calendar, maybe for August, to get more in-depth into some more practicals, hardcore strategies on actually doing programmatic advertising. Next week around 11 a.m. on Friday, we're also going to be having Toby Adekunle, who is going to take us through how to get started on growth marketing. Toby talks a lot about growth marketing, even on LinkedIn, and is the co-founder of Growth School UK. We're going to have on the 27th of June, Eze Chukwudi. Eze Chukwudi is also a member of the DMM community. He's going to be talking to us about brand building in a digital world. So if you work in creative, you work on the agency side, you're a brand manager, a CMO, that's definitely something that you want to tune into. Starting off next month, July, we'll have Muyiwa Aleshinloye. Is the Director of Digital and Media for Publicis Group for Central West Africa. He's based in Ghana, but he used to be based here in Nigeria as well. He'll be talking about digital appreciation for CMOs. This one actually targets those of you that are marketing managers, aspiring to be CMOs, brand managers, pretty much everybody that just wants to understand how to survive and how to thrive as a CMO in this new digital age. Everything can just be TV, radio. How do you plan omni-channel? How do you do proper consumer journey mapping to actually get efficiency for your budget and your spend? So if you don't want to miss that, please tune in 11th of July for Muyiwa Aleshinloye's session. We also have Tunji. Tunji is also a very, very active member of the community. He's the head of paid media at Algorithm, part of the WPP group here in Nigeria, and he pretty much does media planning and buying on a day-to-day basis. So he's going to be coming very, very loaded with a lot of practicals on how to do this properly. So if you're a digital media planner and buyer with some experience, you might get a bit of a refresh from this training. But if you're totally new to this, then I'm sure 101 will also help introduce you to that as well. One standout training there, which I personally was the one that wanted that one there, just because of the kind of feedback I get when I interface with people regarding digital marketing professionals. They always say we are too technical, we don't understand account management or client relationship management and things like that. We don't understand professional sales. So I reached out to Joshua Kimbajo, super experienced Joshua Kimbajo. Joshua was at one point the account management director at Inside Publicis. He's worked at Glow, he's worked at Coca-Cola. If I'm correct, I think he's worked at P&G. He's currently the chief operating officer at Numov Quest, which is a brand building agency as well. I think these are some of those soft skills that we need as digital professionals to also be able to professionalize our services. So as you can see, we have a very, very loaded lineup, and it's all for you guys. You guys don't have to pay a thing for it. Anybody else from outside the community that wants to benefit from this training needs to join the ADMA community. And we also count on you guys to help spread the word about AdMap as well, so we can get more joiners, more members. Yes, so for this training, this is just for 2 months, June and July. In the community, we've been talking about it, the need to get your input for the August to December calendar so that it can be more robust and a bit more balanced. We've asked for your recommendations, and I'm happy to say that, yes, we've been getting a lot of feedback, and the feedback has been very impressive. The post is pinned in the group, so please feel free to look. If you haven't contributed yet, feel free to click on it and also fill in topics that you would like. Beyond filling in the topics that you'd like us to cover, also very, very importantly, we want you to also recommend speakers. Male, female, please feel free to recommend quality speakers. And if you feel you want to talk about a topic yourself, feel free to recommend yourself, as long as you're not selling a product, you're not selling your agency, you just want to actually deliver knowledge. And these are the feedbacks we received so far on the left. So I see a lot of people want to learn about performance marketing and e-commerce. SEO is big, but that is repeated about 4 times. Account-based marketing, very interesting. Digital marketing, reporting, influencer marketing, really nice topics, and I think this is really very helpful. In addition to that, on the side, we also, on the AdMap side, have some additional recommendations of subtopics we are considering. Data privacy and compliance in digital marketing, digital sales mastery, meta advertising, search engine marketing, email marketing 2024, programmatic advertising and real-time bidding strategies. So this is probably going to be part 2 of Nelson's session next time. So without much ado, we're going to go to Nelson today. But just so you also know that next week, Friday 21st, 11 a.m., Toby Adekunle will also be joining us and will be facilitating the growth marketing session. Before I hand over, quickly, I just wanted to point out, since I have some members on the call, we're looking for volunteers for AdMap. So if you have some sort of skill set that you feel will be beneficial to the association, please feel free to just reach out at hello@admap.com. We're always looking for designers, content creators, admin and project managers. If you just want to give back to digital marketing and you've got skills, please reach out to us. Whatever your skill set is, I'm sure we'll find something for you to do to contribute. That said, I will now hand over the floor to Nelson. Nelson is, like I said, the VP of Memberships and Growth at AdMap, and has worked at multiple big firms that that validate his ability to do justice to this topic. He's worked with Out There Media, he's worked with Oprah, and I don't know if to say if he has jackpot now, but he's now with Publicis in the US. So Nelson, welcome. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Dan, for having me here. It's actually a privilege to be part of the community and also privilege to be part of this section as well. Let me share my screen quickly. So let me know if you can see my screen.
So we'll take questions. We can see your screen, Nelson. We'll take questions at the end of the session. So guys, if you have any question, please use the Q&A tab. I will create the questions and I will ask Nelson.
Yeah, so would actually lovely to be engaging, but I know probably there are going to be some kind of distractions. So probably let's just keep it simple. If you have questions, you can always probably put it in the chat group so we could look it up, probably take it up from there. Yeah, today we're actually going to be talking about programmatic advertising. And Programmatic advertising is actually a very interesting space and very, very broad that that is actually we're still growing, right? Because we've seen so many changes in the past years, and the programmatic space is actually still very on the rise at the moment. So we're actually going to talk briefly or deeply, about it. And probably in the next section, probably I think they're going to be serious for this class. We're going to be probably looking at probably a run through on the dashboard, and probably how we could probably optimize campaigns and other stuff on the channel or probably on the platforms. Yeah, for us to start, so this is actually the flow for the topic for the section today. We'll look into the introduction to programmatic ads, how it works, the benefits, the best practices, and more like the future trends. Okay. I have a quick question. So, how many, if you're probably new to programmatic advertising, can you just probably give more like a thumbs up, or probably you have knowledge of it, or you're new to it, you don't know anything about it, just kind of give a thumbs up so I could know how probably maybe explain better or probably go deeper. Anyone? Or you already have more like an idea of it, but you just want to know more about it. Okay, so let's just proceed further. So yeah, so what is actually the genesis of programmatic advertising? Before now, we used to have newspaper and magazines where advertisers go in there and probably put their ads on those newspaper and magazines. And we've seen in Nigeria whereby some politicians will actually book a whole page. We book a whole page just to greet someone, or probably celebrate someone. So that is actually print advertising, where people just kind of bring advertise our products or services on the newspaper or probably in magazines, right? But we know that of recent, right, people hardly read newspaper because there has actually been a shift, right? So what really happened? So what really caused this shift from people advertising on newspaper to people advertising on digital? What really caused this shift, right? Um, so we've seen the struggles in which publishers go through in trying to probably get people, to kind of advertise on media, and but aside that, we realize that there's, because of the technological shift from the traditional ways of doing things to digital, there have actually been a lot of attention in the digital space, right? um what really happened is because the evolvement of technology has actually caused a drift in the print media. Before now, people used to go to the newspaper to search for information. Probably people used to go to the newspaper to probably search for job, where job ads are being placed in newspaper. People used to go to newspaper magazine to search for business address and stuff. But now there have actually been a lot of changes, right? People hardly go search for job on newspapers, or probably go to search for maybe more like a business address or people or whatsoever on newspaper, right? There have actually been a shift from the print media to digital. People now go to digital. You want to search for something, you go to Google. You want to search for a job, you go to Google. There's so many platforms you could always do all these things on, right? And in these days, right, so there are so many platforms that are coming up and are being optimized just to grab the attention of people, which is actually being monetized, right? So we're actually still going to talk deeper into that, but let's just proceed further. So over the years, we've seen a huge decline from print media advertising and we've seen a kind of rise in digital advertising. In the first trend here, you can see that in the year 2024, there's actually those years where we have newspaper and actually was really, people advertise on newspaper and this stuff. But recent years, we've seen a drop, right, in the trend, and we've seen a rise in digital advertising. Well, we can still see TV. TV is still kind of going up and down, but TV is going nowhere. That's just simple truth because we are having so many TVs coming up, online TV coming up that is actually leading to the rise again in TV advertising. So we've seen a decline in the print advertising over the years, and yeah, it is just a thing, right? So people are moving from print media to digital advertising. So why is the question? Okay. Um, Programmatic advertising is actually the reason why we've seen a drift or probably a decline in print media. So what is then programmatic advertising, right? Programmatic advertising um, is referred to the use of various technology algorithms and user data to quickly and efficiently automate the process of buying and selling of online media, right? And according to Digital Marketing Institute, programmatic advertising buying is the use of software to buy digital advertising. So let's just say programmatic advertising helps automate the decision-making process of media buying by targeting specific audience and demographics. So back in the days, we used to have publishers and we used to have advertisers. And the process of buying media in those days was kind of very, very huge, whereby you want to buy CNN, you want to buy media from Punch, or I'm just giving an example, right? You want to buy media from CNN, Punch, you want to buy from which other platform? Okay, let's say Naira Land, you want to buy for Nigelo there, you want to buy from all those places. And the whole process of doing this is very huge. Like you have to sign deals, you have to reach out to Naira Loaded to sign the deal for you, you have to reach out to CNN to sign deal for you, you know, you have to negotiate and all those stuff. And before you know, it takes so many time and effort, and you might even have exceeded the time you want to launch the campaign, you know. So the process is actually very huge. So reason why um the publishers and the advertiser come together and okay, what can we do to make this simplify this process? Okay. And the other part where there are challenges in there is that it was only the big players are only the guys, you know, able probably are the guys that are able to buy medias on these platforms, whereby we have the smaller guys are unable to buy media on these platforms. And also we have publishers that have placement and other stuff that are unable to monetize those placements. So it's just kind of very difficult for both the advertiser and also the publishers as well. So what's actually the history of programmatic advertising? So in 2001, advertisers and publishers, they established a kind of direct relationship whereby they come together, I said earlier, to kind of find a platform in which they could use in simplifying the whole process of buying media, of signing IOs and other stuff, right? So in 2005, the first ad exchange was launched. 2007, the first demand side platform, DSP, and SSP platform was launched. We're going to talk deep about what SSP means and DSP means. And in 2009, real-time bidding was created. We're still going to talk about that. 2011, real-time bidding become a mainstream and data management platform to manage big data. 2015, we have first programmatic CTV campaign was launched. 2006, header bidder becomes the mainstream. And today, we have so many things. AI is coming up and AI is changing the world in programmatic advertising. So what's actually the difference between print media and digital advertising? So in terms of inventory, for print media, it's just only physical publication and it's just space. You just need to take a space in the newspaper or magazine and say, okay, you want to buy media there, right? Why for digital is very vast. Like you could run on apps, you can run on TVs, you can run on websites, you know, you could do so many things in the digital space. Okay. Why for audience, right? You know, on the print media, it's just an entire demographic. Like anyone that buys the paper is actually going to get the advertising or whatsoever that is on the media. Why for digital, it could be personalized, right? You could get personalized ads, you could get so many things that is actually targeted to you, right? So this is actually the difference. And also in terms of cost, print media is actually the cost is fixed. You can't do any form of bidding or anything. You just say, okay, this is the budget, this is the amount that is being sold, and you just need to buy it. Why for digital is actually very flexible. You could buy your media using different pricing models. You could use, it could be CPM, CPC, CPA, or whatsoever, or CPI, depending on the model you want to use in buying your media. Okay. So there are two categories of digital advertising. We have the open internet and we have the walled garden. The open internet is more of is actually a community of a community of DS connected DSP and SSPs. What that means, we have different media platforms being connected together that share that data and being able to run adverts between this ecosystem. While we have the walled garden is actually more of the social network whereby they kind of close their own data and they don't allow maybe other advertisers or probably other uh, ad network to kind of run ads on this platform. So example of more like an open internet is, we could say Google is an open internet, and so many of these programmatic platforms are open internet. Like they have so many publishers or so many website apps and streaming platform all connected to the system, right? Whereby we have, and the walled garden is just more like social media, like on Facebook, right? Twitter, you can run Facebook campaign from Twitter. You can run Facebook campaign from Google. It's just more like a walled garden platform whereby if you want to run campaign in there, you have to go to Facebook to run a campaign. If you want to run campaign on TikTok, you have to go to TikTok or probably Twitter to run this campaign because they have their own DSP platforms. So there are different types of programmatic advertising. I'm just going to run through them quickly so you have understanding of them. The first one is more of the real-time bidding. Real-time bidding is more like a bid. Like if you have you're bidding for a product and the highest bidder kind of win buys the product. So there is more, it's just like, okay, if it's also similar to media buying, whereby we have different advertisers bidding for a space, and the person with the highest CPM or CPC, gets his or her ads displayed on that space. So advertiser bid for ad impression in real time, and the highest bidder wins the right to display their ads on that platform or on that placement. Why for programmatic direct involve direct deals between the buyer and the seller, but uses programmatic technology for the ad buying, like ad buying process. So it's just more like a deal between the buyer and the seller. I meet the buyer and say, okay, this is what I have. I want to buy this placement. I want to buy this inventory. And they kind of sign a deal between themselves, but the deal is to be done programmatically. While we have the private marketplace, this is actually still different from it's different from the real-time. It's similar to real-time bidding, but it's still different. But in here we have just selected ad network or selected DSP, or advertisers within this ecosystem being able to buy media from this space. Okay, let me just give you an example. We have more like, okay, let's just say in Nigeria, right, we have a DSP platform, and what we want to do is that we only want the top guys, to be able to run ads on that placement. So I'm going to probably say, okay, I want Unilever, I want P&G, I want Coca-Cola, I want any other big brand. So they are going to be in this private marketplace and being able to bid for the placement. So that is what the private marketplace means. And a preferred deal is almost similar to programmatic direct, but it's more of what you have. This is the deal I have, and this is the inventory I want, and there's still going to be a negotiation between the publisher and also the advertiser. So we also have automated guarantee, similar to programmatic direct. Automated guarantee deals involve the automated selling of guaranteed ad inventory at a fixed price. So you're just going to buy this ad inventory at a very fixed price. Okay. So this is just a quick overflow what programmatic buying is all about. So in here, I'm just probably going to take you through this so you can see the steps, the different type of programmatic buying. So in here, this is the inventory, right? So is the inventory being auctioned? If it's auctioned, right? If it's yes, so that means it's retail business. So if you are auctioning the product or probably the placement, it means that it's real-time bidding, right? And is the auction open to everyone? So if the auction is open to everyone, right, that is open auction, like everybody can bid for it. Okay. Why if is the auction is closed, it's not open to everyone. So that means it's just meant for specific, advertisers, like I just said earlier, for the PMP. And why for if the inventory is not being auctioned, right? So that means it's going to be programmatic direct. And if the inventory is guaranteed, right? It means that it is programmatic guaranteed. So it's a fixed deal. Like I know that this is I'm buying this. Okay, let's just say Google Maps ad or YouTube Maps ad. So you have a specific placement and on the website, and you are saying, okay, I want to buy this placement all through this day. Like I want to run on this placement from today to the end of the month, and nobody's going to buy, or nobody should be able to probably buy or place bid on that placement. So it's guaranteed for me. It's a one-to-one deal. Okay. Why we have the preferred deal is a one-to-one deal, but the volume is not guaranteed, right? You still have to bid for it, with other guys in the space. Okay. Please feel free to ask questions. If you have any question, just jump in so I could talk further on that. So how does programmatic advertising really work, right? And we have different players in the space, right? We have the advertiser, which is more like the brands that want to advertise on the platform. And the advertisers kind of sometimes they have their in-house team, or probably they work with agencies, right? So we have the advertisers, we have the DSP platforms. So the advertisers kind of use the DSP platforms to buy digital ad inventory across multiple platforms. So if the advertisers can do that themselves, they're actually going to use, that's why we have different agencies. They're going to use agencies to do that for them. Then we have the SSP. So the publishers the SSP is meant for the publishers. The publishers have inventories, they have placement, they have so many, let's just say, for example, we have Nigeria Loaded, we have Nairaland, we have so many local websites, and they have inventories. They don't know how to monetize those inventories. Like, so then we have the SSP. So the SSP is being connected to the publishers, whereby it has been whenever there is an ad call from the SSP, right? They kind of redirect it to the publishers to run their ads on those platforms. So then we have the ad exchange. The ad exchange is more like on the marketplace where buying and selling happens. So it's just more like a market. So if you have a placement, if you have there's an advertiser, so the advertiser wants to bid on a specific placement, and this placement is only available on probably Nigeria Loaded, then it comes together and the deal is being done on the ad exchange network. So here's quickly the ecosystem of how it all happens. So when a user visits a website, right, an ad request is being sent to the ad server, and there's a call for advertisers to bid on that user because they already have the data of that user. And when the bid is being done, the highest bidder will actually be given the placement, or the ad is going to show to that user, right? The ad of that advertiser is going to show that user the highest winner. And this whole process happens between 100 milliseconds. Like, it's very, very fast. I don't know, probably you've seen a scenario whereby you visit the website and you realize that the ads are actually not showing on a specific space, or you just realize that it's blank. What really happens there is that there is no call, right, for an ad to show on that spot. So that is why it is blank. So it all happens within a very fast space. And when it comes to the bidding process, right? So if, for example, you have we probably in the next class we're going to talk more about the bidding process. If probably we have 3 advertisers bidding on a specific user, for their ads to show to specific users. Let's just okay, the specific pay for that user or for that, or let's say the CPC for that or CPM for that space to be for that ads to bring on that space, it could be like $5. So let's just say we have three advertisers bidding. So the first advertiser is bidding with $2, while the second advertiser is bidding with $3, and the fourth advertiser is bidding with $4. So the one with $4 is actually going to pay $3 because it's going to pay $3 because he's the highest bidder. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if the cost, if it doesn't really matter that it doesn't really matter if the cost is $5 or probably if the CPM is $5, you're actually going to pay the $4. Okay, or to the $3 rather. We're probably going to talk deeper about that probably in the next class. So yeah, beyond this is actually the back end of all the whole process of the probably the ecosystem rather. So digital display advertising technology landscape. So we have different players in this space. We have the guys that are probably the publisher side. We have the guys in the DSP channel. We also have the guys in the SSP in here. And also we have the measuring platform. We have the verification platform, which is DV. We have IAB, we have IAS, MOT, we have so many of them, right? And the space is actually very big, right? I actually thought it was actually kind of small, but until probably I started going deeper into it and realized that it's actually is a lot. It's really a lot. So what are the benefits of programmatic advertising? So we have the targeting is quite unique. We have the real-time trading, so you could bid immediately for probably placement for probably specific users, set of users. You get your information in real time. It is very scalable, like it is broad. You have billions of users available within the programmatic ecosystem. The process is automated and you can create it, real-time creation of your ads, of the creative and so many things. So what are actually the best practices of programmatic advertising? So the first part is defining your objective and target audience. So who are actually your target audience? So the first step towards successful programmatic campaign is defining your objective and target audience. Clear goals actually help you shape your ad messages, and also why a detailed understanding of your target audience enhances the effectiveness of your ad targeting strategies. So when you understand your target audience, it's actually going to help you probably tailor down your ads to what you want to achieve precisely. Why the second phase is selecting the right ad format and platform. And this part will actually help you understand if you want to run your ads on maybe the specific DSP you want to run your ads on, because there are so many DSP platforms. We have the Yahoo, we have the Amazon, we have Hardform, we have DV360, we have TradeX, and many of them. And each of them have their own unique inventories or private publishers being connected to them, right? For example, Yahoo has Hulu, they have Prime TV. No, Amazon has Prime TV. While TradeX is currently working with what's his name called, with Netflix. So different DSP platform has their own different inventory or media connected to them. Okay, and here are actually the top 15 DSP channel if you want to work with any. And the crazy thing about this is that the minimum budget for probably running a DSP or probably having access to a DSP account is actually $50,000 per month. So if your budget is not up to $50,000 per month, yeah, you won't be able to probably have access to DSP platform. And what most agency does, or probably most people that actually want to have access to this stuff does, is that they kind of partner with each other. They just say 2-3 agencies comes together and kind of bring their the budget of the advertisers together and being able to have access to this DSP platform. But locally we have Duches and Eskimi doing some good work. in Nigeria which you could easily reach out to them and partner with them, and they could probably help you out to run your own programmatic advertising. So establishing your budget, the third part is establishing your budget and bidding strategy. So you need to know what your budget is, right? So, and being able to know that this is my budget, and you being able to set realistic goals. Not just say you have a budget of like of $1,000 and you want to achieve probably 5,000 in stores or whatever, right? So be realistic with your budget and being able to probably create a bidding strategy that will be very effective and help you achieve your goals and objective. I will tell you this for free, right? Most programmatic campaign is actually using to drive the upper funnels. Like what that means is that is being used to drive awareness the most because of the budget input and because of how broad the ecosystem is and how scalable it is. So many when I started working with publicists, I realized that um, um, the guys playing that in those space are actually very big and they have a lot of budgets they're working on. Like these guys actually spend close to 5 million, like what am I even saying, close to $100 million, like within a month. You know, it's just so it's a very massive space that, yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so not to deviate, so let's move to the fourth part. So data management and target. So for you to be able to run an effective a programmatic campaign, right, you need to have a data management platform whereby you collect all your data, probably able to buy, you have your own first party data, you buy second party data, or probably you're in partnership with a company that you guys are sharing data with each other. And also you have a third party data from the vendors you're working with. So you kind of collect this data and probably use it, to derive insight and being able to shape your strategy from that part. Okay, so having a DMP platform is actually the lifeblood of programmatic advertising. It fuels every facet of your campaigns, from audience targeting to campaign optimization. So it is very crucial to have a good and a strong DMP platform. So many people use Salesforce. Some use there are so many tools that are being used as a data management platform. So the fifth part is implementing effective audience targeting. So who are your target audience? How do you want to reach out to them? Is it you want to reach out to them via OTT or CTV? You want to reach out to them via maybe just via display on the website, or probably in-apps, or probably interstitials or what. So you just need to probably implement effective audience targeting and being able to also collate the data. Like for what's one good part about working with programmatic advertising is that it unifies the idea of the user. So instead of you running ads on let's just say on Nairaland, on Niger Loaded, on CNN, on all those different platforms, and just a user could be visiting all those websites as well, and you'll be able to map everything together, right? But with this, you will be able to map everything together, like you've been able to set the frequency capping. Like just okay, I want it to just run 3 times to this specific audience or set of people, right? Then it unifies your data together. Not that you won't be able to have understanding of where your house is running on. But with this now, you'll be able to probably aggregate all your data and get insight from the campaign you're running. Okay. The fifth part is creative optimization. As we all know now, AI is doing so many crazy stuff at the moment. With programmatic advertising, you could easily set up your campaign, and the campaign can be optimized immediately, like as on the go. The creative can be changed, the color of the creative can be changed, the text could be changed just to meet the client where they are and meet them at their need. What I mean by that is that if, for example, the AI has actually observed the user and realized that the user prefer click on specific colors or banners, or probably is probably understand specific tests and other stuff. So AI kind of optimize the campaign, tweak the tests, the color, the banner, and everything to fit into what the advertiser might want to engage with. Okay, so creative optimization is very important also in programmatic advertising, but AI is actually helping to probably reduce the stress of you go to meet your creative director to probably give you new banners again. AI could easily generate this stuff and probably run the campaign immediately. The phase 7 is probably doing A/B testing is important. Like you want to know which campaign is performing better, which audience is performing better, which video is performing better, which publish or probably which platform is performing better, which placement performing better. You want to know this aspect of it, then you optimize your campaign towards that. Okay. Then the other part is utilize analytical tools and data-driven insights. So there are so many tools you could use to get insights. You can use Google Analytics, but I would probably advise you to use that if you have more. If you can spend like $50,000 on a DSP platform, why won't you probably have the same money to probably get an advanced data analytical tools like IBM, Looker, or probably Power BI? So what are probably the programmatic advertising reach? The first part is brand safety and ad fraud, right? Recently we've seen ads being displayed on where they ought not display on. For example, let's just say there is a plane crash, and your ads probably you're working with a client like Airpiece, and your ad is being displayed on where there's a plane crash. That's a disaster, right? So those are actually part of what brand safety is all about, and ad fraud as well. Ad fraud is still a thing currently, but there are still some mitigation against how it could be controlled at the moment. So as programmatic advertising continues to grow, so the risks as well is growing, and such as ad fraud, brand safety, and so many. But however, there are some measuring platform that helps in kind of preventing your ads from showing from unsafe environment, or probably preventing your ads from ad fraud. We have platform like IAB, we have IAS, we have mods and DV that actually helps in doing all this stuff. And the other part is also privacy violation and data policy breach. If AI is not controlled, it just kind of run on anything, right? So it's very important for you to get consent from the users you're using their data. It is very important for you to do that, because if you don't do that, if you're being fined for that, you could pay a lot of money for that. There are so many companies going through this L at the moment that they're paying a lot of money because of data breach and privacy violations. So you want to be careful with how you use the data you're getting from probably third party or probably second party. You need to be very careful with that. Even your first party data, you still need to be very careful with it before you need to get consent from some of your users before you could probably use their data to run ads. So what are probably the trends of programmatic advertising? Programmatic advertising continues to evolve with the rise of connected TV. We have OTT, over-the-top advertising, and the adoption of AI and machine learning, programmatic optimization, and the growing importance of privacy regulation and user consent. As I said earlier, it is very important for you at the moment. I don't know about Nigeria, right? But in the States, right, privacy regulation and user consent is very important. Like if you probably do a mistake and someone gets you, you're gonna pay for it. Like you're really gonna pay for it, and it's not just small money. Like you pay a lot for it. So expect to see an increase in personalization. Yeah, definitely personalized. There are so many research going on this. I personally am working on research on personalization. Expect kind of increase in that. There's probably going to be enhanced cross-channel integration and advancement in measurement attribution. So they're going to be more like cookie mapping, ID mapping, and so many things. Bringing all this, bringing the kind of unified ID, as I said in the third point, the advent of unified ID, whereby it's going to be a unified ID. So you, as a user, you're going to have an ID that will actually be going to be tracked across all the platforms you're going to visit. The rise in budget, honestly, people are spending a lot of money programmatic advertising. I will tell you for that, for this for free. Advertisers are finding ways. They don't even care about, some of them don't even care about conversion and everything. They just want to, they want views. Like they just want the ad to be out there and just be out there all the time, you know. So that's one part. In-house programmatic team. So many advertisers are having their own in-house team, programmatic team, and it's on the rise as well. Like people are actually getting jobs in the programmatic space. Rise of contextual targeting. Yeah, contextual targeting is actually one of the best targeting process that really drive conversion. We'll probably talk about this in the next section. Growth in in-game and in-apps ad. Yeah, in-game games is on its own is a very big and broad industry on itself, and it's very big, and there is growth in that space as well, and also growth in in-app ads, as well as so many apps are coming up as are being rendered on those platforms. So the rise of AR and VR, third-party cookies is phasing out. So all pointing towards an exciting future for programmatic advertising, right? So you just need to position yourself, you know, to these trends that is actually coming up. So what's next for you? So if probably you have interest in becoming a programmatic advertiser or programmatic manager or probably executive or associate, I'll tell you in the state, right, the minimum pay for a programmatic manager is actually falls around 70 to 120 K USD. Like is a lot. They are being paid very well in that space. And so if probably you have interest in this, you probably take certification on TradeX, Amazon DSP, DV360, Yahoo DSP. These are actually the key DSP channels that is actually available. So you could might want to probably, I already added the link to this. This slide will be shared with everyone. And yeah, you could probably take this certification and open yourself to opportunity that comes your way and apply for jobs. And you'll be lucky. You just be lucky, and you probably get something good from that. Regardless of where your location, you could get from Nigeria, you could get from anywhere. But yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is all we have for today. In the next class, we're probably gonna go more in depth, like take you through the dashboards and also how we can optimize campaigns and other stuff. I think that's going to be more detailed and more advanced. This is just introductory part, and we could probably take it further from there. Yeah, so if you have questions, please feel free to ask. And before we probably, I think we have like 10 minutes for questions and other stuff. Uh, let me see. Let me check the chat if there are questions.
I don't think, okay. There's one question here.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Nelson. Even me, I have some questions for you, so
Yeah, so
you did. There's a question from Henry. Henry says, so programmatic advertising is basically the back end aspect of digital advertising.
yeah, we could say we can't. We will say the technical part, right? And I don't know how to put it, but it's just more like the computational part of advertising. Like, so it's more like you using digital or technology, you know, to bid for ads, and you being able to use it to uh, uh um achieve your goals online. I don't know if that really answers his question precisely, because it's all digital, right? But it's just more advanced to social media only, and others. I think we're quite used to just social media and Google Ads only, but this part is quite very advanced, that has so many that deals with billions of users, right? And has so many inventories embedded in it. So you need to be very strategic about where you want your ads to run on, you know, for you to achieve your goals and objectives. So it takes a lot of, it takes some strategies, you know, involved in terms of bidding, in terms of media buying and other stuff, for you to be able to achieve what you want to do in this platform.
Good. So I have two questions in one.
Okay.
While we wait for others. Guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to feel free to indicate using the Q&A box. So when you were speaking, you said two things. Two things that stood out for me. One was you said for you to get onto a DSP platform, you need to spend in the region of 50K USD and above.
Yeah.
Would that also apply for locally available platforms like Eskimi and Doche's DSP in Nigeria? That's
So,
one.
okay.
That's one question so that I can just really take it. Then the
All right.
second one is you also said programmatic advertising is more optimized for top funnel. My question here is there a way to use programmatic advertising to also drive conversions at the bottom of the funnel as well?
Okay, good. The first question about yeah, the minimum budget is actually $50,000 for probably the top. These are probably the top DSP platform that has so many media embedded or integrated into it, right? Which is probably global. But whereas we have the local ones, which is probably Eskimi and also Doches, which actually have some also media or publishers integrated into their system, right? But I think the minimum budget for Doches and Eskimi, which I don't know if that has changed, but I think it was around 1 million naira, right? But that was the minimum budget for Eskimi and Doches, which I really don't know if that has changed or not, but yeah, which partnering with these guys, right? So they have access to these publishers integrated their system, right? So with them, you could reach some of the platform that is integrated into them. I really can't say give the platform integrated to them now, but I think most of the local medias in Nigeria is actually integrated into Eskimi and also Doche. So if probably you want to buy media, locally, you could actually reach out to these guys and work with them. But if perhaps you have a global brand and you want to extend your reach to other regions, to other countries, you want to advertise on OTT, on CTVs, you just want to reach out broadly, definitely you probably need access to these DSP channels. And the other part is that for this top DSP platform, you have access to optimize your campaigns and do stuff yourself. Why for the local ones, right? They do it for you. They manage your campaign for you and they do other stuff for you so you could reach your goals and objectives. But for this, you'll be able to have your hands dirty on it and probably being able to do stuff, crazy stuff yourself. Yeah, in terms of the second question, if it could probably be optimized for lower funnel. Yeah, it could be, right? It could be, but it's just that it's not really cost effective compared to you being saying that it's not really cost effective than your focus being on the top funnel. What I mean is that the cost per conversion could be very high, compared to probably maybe social or other stuff. But um, the strategies involved in probably getting to the lower funnel is more of using contextual targeting and also more like using lookalike, doing remarketing and other stuff. As long as you have the view, as you probably collating the data, right? You're putting them in the space, you use those data and probably kind of run some form of remarketing, to drive the mid funnel and also the lower funnel, which actually helps a lot. There are some of the campaigns we're working on, but at the moment we are working on the mid funnel, right? So what's the strategy we're currently using to drive conversion, the mid funnel is more of contextual targeting, which after that we probably go to the lower funnel. So currently we're running campaigns for both the upper funnel, which is targeting the OTT, the CTVs, and the streaming platforms. And they just want us to run to display on those channels, right? They don't need it. You don't need to click on it, just view it, right? And while on the mid funnel, we're kind of running some contextual ads and it's been done on DV360. Why the first one, the awareness stage is being done on Yahoo and Amazon. So just kind of running video campaigns, to make people aware of the product and services the company offers. Why underneath for the CTV, for the mid funnel, kind of running some remarketing, some targeting, contextual targeting to drive people to take actions on that. So yeah, it's possible, but it's just kind of is really the cost per conversion is expensive, but most of the clients are really not focused on probably lower funnel. Their core goal is actually the upper funnel. They know that if you see the ads and you keep seeing it repeatedly, you're actually going to take action something. So that is it. Your mood stand.
Thank you so much for that answer. Permit me to use this webinar as a TV station just to
Mhm.
send a special happy birthday shout out to Temitayo Ige. And
Oh,
that stand today is her birthday. Tayo, if you're on the call, happy birthday. Um, Moving on quickly, Samuel Oyeni actually shared a couple of additional DSPs for those of you that are looking for them that are available in Nigeria. So there's LoopMe, there's FutureX, there's Digital Tribe, there's Intent Just AI.
mm,
So if you look in the webinar chat, you'll see that there's some conversation ongoing there. Thanks, Samuel.
yeah.
Muiwa has a question. Muiwa has a question for you. Muiwa wants to know if there's a way to find out all the publishers or inventory listed under a DSP. Is there a way to know who is under what DSP?
So, that was actually a very deep question, right? But I think for you to know this, you have to make a research for you to be able to know this or probably figure this out. Because um, the key thing is that different DSP have their own unique, they have their own unique media integrated to them or publishers integrated to them, right? So if probably you're looking forward to want to run ads on Disney, or probably you want to run ads on, for example, Disney. If you want to run ads on Disney, it has to be Yahoo DSP. If you want to run ads on Prime TV, it has to be on Amazon DSP. So it's just for you to make a research, and being able to know if probably you make a research and look at the platform you want to run your ads on, then look at the DSP that offers that has those platform integrated to it, then probably subscribe to it. So I think that was actually the best answer to it. So, but most of the big agencies, right, have access to all these DSP. For example, I have access to all these DSP. I have access to Amazon. I have access to DV360. I have access to what's it called again? And yet to Yahoo, right? So the clients we're working with just want to reach out to so many people. And yeah, we just kind of running hard on all of them. So you just left for you to make your research and look at what's available there before probably buying to the DSP.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. I see some other questions, but we've run out of time, unfortunately. There's a question about the difference between direct and programmatic advertising. I know Nelson has spoken to that already. It's in the presentation. So Nelson himself is going to drop the presentation in the group, and he's going to drop the presentation in the group for everyone. So if there's anything that you've missed, you will be able to see in that group. Nelson, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so very, very much. And thank you all for joining from wherever you are. Just a reminder, we have a fully loaded calendar for this month and next. We've really gone big. This is really, really big fishes that we're going to carry and bring to you guys. Toby's session is up next, which is next week. The webinar link will also be shared in the group, just like we did for Nelson. That's going to happen today or tomorrow. Please go ahead and register and spread the word about AdMap. Let's get some of your friends and colleagues to come join the community as well. Again, not to sound like a broken record, we need your recommendations on training. We've gotten quite a few here. We've also gotten quite a few on the webinar here as well. If there's anything you want to see, no matter how complicated, if you want something on machine learning and what's the most complicated thing we can talk about now, robotics or quantum physics, please list it in the group Just be sure to also provide the speaker, and we'll compile that for the next calendar. Guys, thank you much. Thank you so much. At this point, I will end the webinar and look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thanks as well, Nelson. Have a lovely day.